Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, the Quantum Leap, Let Light Unite show on UPR Radio and UPRN Radio. See, it's been a couple of times since I haven't been here. And this is July 6, 2018. Guys, tonight we're going to do a lot of energy and light work, and we're going to focus on water and Nazis. Now, it's kind of a really bizarre thing, but you actually do see all the Nazis coming out of the woodwork and really trying to push the whole world into fascism. And that doesn't work for me. So we're going to do the energy work, and I'm going to explain a little bit, give you some good news on some of the work that we have been doing. And it really brought me a lot of joy to hear about this one on the Nazis. But before I get to that, I want to explain really quick why we're going to do some energy work on the water elemental. I like to swim with the dolphins, and I went swimming Sunday, and normally they're very playful, and they love to get their pictures taken. They'll hang out with you. They'll let, at least me anyway, they let me swim in their pods and really do a lot of videotape with them. And then Sunday, it was like they were very agitated. You know, they were there, but it's like, you know, y'all kayaks, you stay over there. We're going to swim over here. We're not really feeling the social thing. And I couldn't figure out why, because usually they're so playful. Well, my girlfriend reminded me that the Navy and RIMPAC and the Pacific Pac are having all their naval exercises out in Hawaii. And they're using a lot of sonar, which we're going to work on. And it's really agitating the animals and the dolphins. So that's why we're going to give the water elemental some really extra special attention, because the animals and the dolphins need it. Now, we've been doing this energy work for a long time. And, you know, lately I have been giving a lot of attention to the Nazis because they're come up. And I've also been doing a lot more video on Facebook. Monday night, we call down World Enlightenment and re-anchor that to the planet around 4:30 Hawaiian time. And y'all are invited to join in if you want to do some more group energy. And I've also set aside a little time to give the Nazis and fascism energy to neutralize what they do. Because if you know your history, the Nazis did a lot of satanic magic. Well, you know, in World War II, they really didn't have people that did energy work awakened enough to get it together as big groups to neutralize what they're doing. So they really gained a lot of energy and a lot of strength. But this is 2018, okay? The light workers are awakened, and we need to give them energy and attention. You know, we want to quantum leap the world into enlightenment, which is my goal. You have to give energy to those that are darkest and the lowest on the consciousness scale. And you got to admit, the Nazis are not really high up there. You know, they're pretty low. And, you know, again, there are people that do black magic. And as far as I'm concerned, we've got Nazis in the government. Trump's a Nazi. Bannon, Miller, God, I even know these people. This is so sad. This is what this world is. You know all the people in the cabinet, and you know what they do, you know what they're doing, and you know what party, and you know, even the Nazi party. But good, I can't wait. They're a far distant memory in my path. So I do that on Monday. Tuesdays, we do what I call Fukushima Radiation Tuesday, where I give you the radiation report, and we talk a little bit about radiation, what we can do to neutralize it and stay healthy. And also, yeah, and also we do energy work directed at the radiation to neutralize it. And we give the Nazis some attention. And then Thursday, we work on the earth, climate change, and I've also set a little bit of a time for the Nazis. Now, I was beginning to think, oh my God, am I overdoing this a little bit? Because for me, I know how effective I'm being is when I see some things appear in the planet. And you never know how it's going to appear. You just don't. So this came up yesterday, and I have to say, oh my God, it brought me much joy. Now, in the United States, there's this super duper head Nazi called Richard Spencer. And Richard was kicked out of Europe. Huh. So, what do you do if you're an obnoxious hate monger whose whole shtick relies on the supposed primacy of European culture, and then Europe kicks you the crap out? Well, Richard Spencer is finding that out right now because, Europe just kicked him the crap out. Imagine an entire continent regurgitating you into the loo, especially your second favorite one down, 5 to go. Now, we can resettle them in Antarctica. We're not mean. Now, this is from Think Progress. This week, in a development first flagged by Hope, not Hate, a British anti-racism organization, and Richard Spencer learned that he would be unable to travel to Sweden to take part in a conference for young white supremacists. We could also call them Nazis. As Spencer's pal Christopher Dolney, another white supremacist member of the so-called alternate right, which they've changed their names because, Nazis isn't really a positive thing. And he wrote on Twitter, Spencer was slated to be a secret guest at the conference, but will be a no-show instead, having been turned away at a European airport and denied further travel. Now, per Swedish media, Spencer was prevented from traveling during a layover to Poland. Now, Polish authorities told Spencer that he was barred from traveling in the country and that he has to return to the United States. It's unclear if Spencer has been barred from all European countries or just Poland. However, a November report noted that Spencer had been barred from traveling to or through the 26 European countries that comprise the Schengen area, an organization of nations that have effectively provided for the free movement of tourists and citizens. Both Poland and Sweden are members of the Schengen area. In the wake of last November's report, Spencer whined that he was being treated like a criminal by the Polish government. He has yet to comment on Poland's move this week, but his expulsion follows a similar development in 2014, in which Hungary arrested and deported Spencer. Cool, dudes. The announcement also follows the UK's decision to bar a number of other white supremacists and far right conspiracy theorists earlier this year. Hopefully they're sending him off with his own custom-created Oompa Loompa song. And unfortunately, there's too many people in the Americas that will gladly take this jerk back, but that's why we're doing energy work to neutralize the Nazis and their works. And now we just need Europe to not allow Steve Bannon to go there anymore. And maybe they banned him. We don't know yet. It's a hope. Now, another good thing really happened, and that Scott Pruitt, the evil EPA director, finally resigned. Unfortunately, the guy behind him was a coal lobbyist. So, we still got our work cut out for us. But at least one evil dude is gone, and he was pretty dark. I'm not going to go into all the stuff that he did. If you followed Scott, and he's got a lot of it. Congress is looking into a lot of the things that he has done, and I hope he also has to pay the American people back all those fancy plane rides that he took and all those dinners and trips and fancy pants he bought. Yeah, he can pay us back. All right, guys, let's do some light and energy work. And as I'm doing this, I want you to do some creative visualization and really imagine it in your mind. Yeah, I can't help it. My producer wrote, "You know you're hot for Trump." Oh, God, yeah. Sure am. Okay, guys, so for those of you guys going to participate, I want you to put feet flat on the floor and start taking some gentle deep breaths and inhale light and exhale out everything you no longer serves you. Imagine that energy going through the violet flame back to God. Now, from your crown chakra, I want you to send out the silver cord and feel it reconnect with the creator, and all that high energy come pouring into your body, into the top of your head, flowing through your body. Now, as that happens, I want you to imagine any place that's out of balance in your body, and just imagine some of this really high healing energy going into that area and just what I call percolating over there and raising that energy and helping you release any discomfort that you may have taken on. Now, as you're bringing in this light, I want you to imagine yourself in this huge stadium, people to the right, people to the left. And in your mind's eye, you're going to hold their hands. In the center of the stadium, we're going to put this huge 10-ton crystal. How's that? In the center to amplify what we do. And I'm showing you a visual of a crystal if you can't imagine one in your mind. Now in your mind's eye, you're holding everybody, your people to the right and to the left, their hands, and everybody is also linked up through their heart chakras, and everybody in all the rows are holding hands, and we're connected through light. Now I want you to send love and light to the right, and as the energy flows to the right, we call to all the gods and goddesses, past, present, future, of light, the elemental kingdom, air, earth, fire, and water, the divas, all the angels, all the people doing prayer work to stop the Nazis and the KKK and white supremacists. We're going to ask their permission to add all their divine energy into the circle and to amplify our work. And now send love and light to the left. And as the circle flows to the left, it's now closed, so only that which is light may enter. And we ask that the trees join us and send this energy into the earth so the earth can remain stable and balanced and move with divine intelligence, and out through the branches so all life forms can feel this really positive energy and act in a positive light. We call to all the rock, stones, crystals, minerals, all the earth keepers on the planet to lock into the big earth keeper in the center and amplify our work over 100,000 fold. We call to all the grids, ley lines, meridians, domes, obelisks, pyramids, all the sacred and holy spots on the planet to lock into the circle. And I'm going to ask that everyone that's joining us tonight receives a healing, and that you guide us into doing not our will, but thy will be done. So be it. So take a deep breath and release their hands. Now we're going to create a bubble of light, and you can send energy out through your hands. And if you got a crystal, hold the crystal. It's going to amplify what we're doing. And while you're sending energy out, because you're really you can multitask while we're doing this. You can send energy out and be creative. And in your mind's eye, imagine this happening. See it, feel it happening. All right. So take a deep breath, feel yourself again, connect with the creator, and all that divine energy flow through you, out your hands, your upper chakras, into the center, forming a bubble of light. And in the bubble of light, we're placing all the Nazis everywhere on the planet. So now, in your mind's eye, I want you to see the violet flame blazing around and through any area Nazis are doing satanic rituals to burn off all dark satanic energy. Now anchor it. Command Archangel Michael to tie and bind all demons that have attached themselves to Nazis and escort them back to God, replacing that space with Michael's warrior angels of light. Anchor the angel energy of divine enlightenment in the center of this area and expand outward so all who enter this sacred space has their high selves activated and all are reconnected back to the Creator to become an awakened spiritual being. We call the higher selves of all the Nazis to stop their dark white supremacist ways. And if they choose to continue, which is their free will, we ask your higher self and guardian angel to put them in a position of harmlessness now. We also surround them in a bubble of mirror facing them 2 inches from their nose, contain their dark energies with the violet flame added to transmute their energy so they have no more forward movement. We call the higher We see all of Nazi swastika symbols and imagine them being reversed. So the energy now brings in peace and prosperity back to Earth and humanity. And every time anyone looks at a Nazi swastika, see the energy being reversed into its correct positive direction. We cut the ties to anyone whose intent is to misuse any sacred symbols. We call the violet flame through them to clean them up, and we reconnect those symbols to the divine. See these energies being reversed to their positive, correct direction now. And any runes that they're also misusing, see it being reversed to their correct, proper direction that's positive. If the symbols were used to set humanity's collective solar plexus backwards, we now reverse direction and see humanity moving forward in light and love. So I want you to chant with me, and we're going to do this chant 3 times, and you should know it. May divine enlightenment descend on all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Nazis now. All right, chant with me. And use the power of the spoken word. Imagine that energy just blasting and just coming down. Enlightenment, descend on all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment descend on all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment descend on all Nazis now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Nazis now. All right, fill that up with light and love, and we're going to take a deep breath and release it. And I give thanks for this opportunity to serve. So we're going to create another bubble of light. And in this bubble of light, we're going to put in all the sacred energy symbols that the Nazis use. So in the name of the presence of God, which I am through the magnetic power of the sacred fire vested in me, I command that all Nazi swastika symbols are reversed so the energy now brings in peace and prosperity back to Earth and humanity. Every time anyone looks at a Nazi swastika, see the energy being reversed into its correct positive direction. We cut the ties to anyone whose intent is to misuse any sacred symbols. We call the violet flame through them to clean them up, and we reconnect those symbols to the divine. See these energies being reversed to their positive, correct direction now. If the symbol was used to set humanity's collective solar plexus backwards, we now reverse directions and see humanity moving forward in light and love. I command that any portals, stargates, time portals, including the time portal at Montauk or CERN, being used for the dark purpose of manipulating time or allowing dark forces from other dimensions on the planet, be cut from those that are misusing them, closed and sealed forever. Made invisible and moved so they cannot reopen them. Imagine any machines being used for this purpose breaking down now. See any magic symbols and rituals being used to rent the veils between inner dimensions be rendered harmless. I ask that all those who try and run vril machines become confused so the machines do not function properly. As vril energy is corrected, see humanity becoming conscious and focused on their divine spiritual growth, bringing the golden age into manifestation. I ask that all that misuse the vril energy be tied and bound. All vril machines are cut from their masters and any byproduct of vril, including any psychokinetic energy, mind altering, manipulating machines, any Tesla invention. I cut these elementals from their masters, cleansing them with the violet flame. Fill the elementals with love and command them to be neutralized themselves by breaking down and no longer functioning. And this includes any machines, computers connected to the ELF harp, the ELF and the HARP and the CERN programs, any microwave, cell phone towers, airplanes, spy satellites, jets, helicopters, creating chemtrails, and of course the Montauk program. I ask anyone trying to misuse the Vril energy through the use of sound, color, water, chemical, drugs to stop now. Step forward into the light and help us bring the earth into the golden age peacefully. Stop manipulating humankind by creating apocalyptic energy if you choose not to work in the light in a peaceful way. I ask your higher self and guardian angel to put you in a position of harmlessness now. I asked Michael the Archangel to cut all energy and money sources from those that misuse the Vril energy, redirecting that energy to light workers to put towards their divine missions and making their lives prosperous and comfortable. We cut all ties and magical contracts the Anunnaki Satan had with the Roman Vatican Church Empire and with Hitler. All concordats are now dissolved by the violet flame, healed in angel light, and reconnected to the Creator, now becoming neutral or emitting love. That energy of the first through the fourth Reich is now dissolved. Nevertheless, not our will, but thy will be done. So be it. And I give thanks for this opportunity to serve. All right, we're going to create another bubble of light. And in this bubble of light, I want you to imagine the orange Cheeto Trump and all his family in this bubble. Let there be light. And then we call to the crystals in Washington, D.C. area to amplify light and transparency everywhere. In the Capitol, we ask the Creator to remove all energy overlays that is keeping the public from seeing all the unnecessary expenses that the Trump family is creating, that the public is paying for. See the mass general public demand Trump either stop going on as many vacation trips for any of his golf courses, including Mar-a-Lago, or pay for the trips themselves, no longer using taxpayer funds. We ask that all veils and overlays that are protecting Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner, from the public's eye are removed now. And that includes all Trump's children. Let's send energy to all those women. Excuse me. Let all their plans be brought to the surface in a way that Congress and the Senate take action and strip them of all their power they have been given by Donald Trump to be replaced with someone with international experience. Let Ivanka, Jared, and Trump's children be given prison time for their treasonous actions. Remove all magical overlays of protection around Trump so there is complete transparency on how he sexually abuses women. Let's send energy to those women Trump has sexually abused in the past and present, the energy they need to come forward to speak truth and be protected from Trump's followers. We call the higher selves of everyone in the United States to realize that Donald Trump and family are a national security threat. We ask that every American, Republican, Democrat, whether you vote or not, you need to demand that your representative, judicial and elected, stand up and insist that the Trump administration be suspended until questions are answered completely and satisfactorily to an independent investigative panel with full judicial oversight. There is more than enough evidence of questionable ethics, if not outright criminality, and I will say treason, to justify spending any further action, domestic or international, from this administration. And real quick, we're going to send energy to Robert Mueller, and we're going to ask the angels, give that man everything he needs to bring this to a head and to put Trump and Pence and all those Republicans that are complicit in prison and replacing them with all light workers. So we call to Archangel Michael to remove all overlays of magic that is keeping the Congress and Senate from standing firm and putting Trump on presidential timeout now. Impeach and remove from office. See, again, the Trump administration be suspended or put on pause for not being able to eliminate or put any new programs in action until all questions are answered. We call to the goddess of justice and truth to bring everything up to the surface on where all those children are. Let there be total accountability. And if not, we're going to send energy to the federal judges to put Trump and Nielsen and Sessions and anyone else that is complicit with this, with kidnapping children, in prison, removing them from office now. See Congress and Senate making Donald Trump show all his tax returns. See all satanic magic that is keeping the Trumps in power be neutralized. See all overlays of magic removed from Trump and his family. And it's time for Trump to be impeached and removed from office, replaced with a human, compassionate light worker. All right, let's going to fill this up with light and love, and we're going to take a deep breath and release it. Or again, we're going to create another bubble of light. And in this bubble of light, we're going to put in all the Trump protesters everywhere in the world. And we're going to ask that they be given everything they need to be successful and to be heard. And let all veils of magic be removed off of Trump that's keeping him protected. And anywhere he goes, anywhere in the world, let the protesters congregate there and be able to speak their truth in a nonviolent way where they will not be hurt or harmed. All right, fill that up with light and love and take a deep breath and release it. All right, let's create another bubble of light. And in this bubble of light, we are putting in all the white male racist, well, I'm sorry, but I've got to guess we have to put in all the racist Republicans, because there are some women in there, that party, and put them in positions of harmlessness. So again, create a bubble of light. And in this bubble of light, we're putting in all Republicans and all their donors. We call Archangel Michael to cut all ties at the Republican Party and have to any satanic black magic that is keeping them in power. We cut all ties to all their money sources, including the Koch brothers and the Mercer family. We send this money energy back to God to clean it up. Now let's send all those money sources back to the poor and those that are standing up to the Republicans, including all recall groups. We ask that these groups receive lots of donations and excited fresh volunteers to make the recall successful, replacing the Republican Party with enlightened, compassionate, kind, awakened spiritual beings. And that includes Trump and all his cabinet. We remove all energy veils that are around all the people living in the United States that are keeping them from connecting to the Creator to become awakened spiritual beings. And as they reconnect to the Creator, see them becoming conscious beings, seeing truth, and through all the lies and deceptions as the transparency is manifested. See the masses filled with all kinds of divine inspiration, and how to remove the Republicans and the white racists from office through political channels, holding special elections to remove them from office, replacing them with a human being light worker filled with compassion for all life forms. And that includes the racists coming up this fall. We see the Republicans, white racists, being recalled and removed from office now. We see the Republicans and the white racists being recalled and removed from office. Now we see the Republicans and white racists being recalled and removed from office now. We called Ganesh to place many obstacles in the way of the Republicans, the white racists that want to create and implement programs that are not good for Earth or any life forms, programs that are intended to hurt and harm the poor. See them falling apart. As people awaken, see them going to their Republican and white supremacist representative, because there are a few, and speaking their minds of discontent with all their agendas as the Republicans and white racists awaken, connecting them to the Creator that now allows them to see the horrors that they have created, and then being inspired to correct it with compassionate love of service for others. See them now funding all social programs, Meals on Wheels, including women's healthcare clinics, to name a few. We cut ties to the fear of women and the obsessive need to control them. I call the higher selves of the Republicans, step forward in the light, cut all the ties, Michael the Archangel and Shiva, to unbalance fear of women, abortion, obsession, patriarchy, genocide, rape, pillage, plunder, incest, greed, power, gladiator mentality, military war, might is right mentality, from their energy field, cells, atoms, molecules, all the way down to their DNA, going through all their incarnations. As this energy is released, I call the violet flame through them and all their works that are misdirected. Cut all ties to all black art and negative ceremonies that are being done in any will to manipulate humanity and the earth for greed and profit. As it is released, I call the divine male-female consciousness to their hearts that will flow to the reptilian part of the brain. We also want all overlays of magic removed off of the Republicans that's keeping them from seeing these children in cages and having empathy for them and moving forward and getting Trump to stop and correcting this problem. We call to the higher self of Trump and all Republicans trying to keep him in power to step forward in the light of God, stop acting like Nazi reptilians, leave all the social programs and citizens' rights intact, and roll back all laws that hurt the mass general public. And if you choose not to, which is your free will, ask your higher self and guardian angel to put them all in positions of harmlessness, letting awakened spiritual beings take their place. And if that means they're all recalled, let the recalls gain lots of forward movement. We cut all ties to all the executive orders Trump has written and retained in the office of the Great Seal. We call the violet flame through them to clean up all dark energies. Now we reconnect all those orders to the Creator and command them to be neutral, no more forward movement. All black magic giving any of his executive orders energy being canceled, cleared, and neutralized. We now see all Trump's executive orders being rolled back and stricken from the books. We cut ties to Trump, Steve Bannon, and Miller, along with any complicit Republican or unenlightened Democrat and their vision of reinventing the USA, and see all this energy, all that forward movement stopped, also dissolving completely. See all their Nazi plans falling apart. We call the higher selves to guide these men to releasing all women slaves or anyone being used as slave labor. Let us fill them up with divine respect for women, life, the planet, and all living things. See men's higher self guiding them to accepting divine matriarchy and opening their heart, throat, and crown chakras. As these centers open, see them being very balanced, loving, kind, generous, peaceful, supporting women and groups that are in the light. Fill all these men with divine joy, divine mission, respecting the goddess within, and giving freedom and honor to all women. See them becoming kinder and allowing women to be equally divinely conscious beings. And we're going to actually call to the higher selves of all the Republicans and ask that they are reconnected to the Creator and they block any judge, Trump comes up with for the Supreme Court, and they also agree not to go forward until after the elections this fall. We call the higher self of all law enforcement to also reconnect to the Creator, and as they become awakened spiritual beings, they see through Trump's plans and choose not to cooperate, siding with the people. Let them become more conscious of all the income and benefits the government has taken from them, choosing to become the protector of the poor, standing down on all orders that is against the Constitution. And this brings them much joy and pride as they become good cops. We cut all addiction ties that Trump and the Republican Party and has to greed, money and gold, and power. We cut all addictive ties Trump has for greed, adoration, and drive to become a dictator. Cancel clear, cancel clear, cancel clear. If it's for Trump's and the Republicans' highest good that their karma is returned to them for their actions against women, the poor, the planet, children, then let it be done, which may include loss of all money, all supporters of any kind, and all power. Let the magic of protection be removed around them and their plans now, and it's for Trump's highest good and for the good of everyone in the USA and the world. Let him be tried for treason, be sent to prison for all his crimes against the people of the world and all the money that he has earned, and abuse the emollients clause. See him having to repay that back, and that money being used to reunite the immigrants, to be used to put the planet back in order, to go back into social programs. Now, in your mind's eye, see Trump and his family and the cabinet doing jail time for all their acts of treason. See them being removed from office in a way no one will be hurt or harmed, replaced with a compassionate humanitarian. And let's send energy out to all the enlightened Democrats and awakened Republicans standing up for Earth and all life forms. May they be sent everything they need to be successful. So you can chant with me. May divine enlightenment descend on all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Republicans now. Do that 3 times. May divine enlightenment descend on all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment descend on all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment descend on all Republicans now. May divine enlightenment awaken within all Republicans now. Fill this up with light and love. So be it. Nevertheless, that our will with thy will be done. Take a deep breath and release it. We give thanks for this opportunity to serve. All right, we're going to create another energy bubble. And in this bubble, we are going to put the Nazis, Steve Bannon and Steve Miller, in this bubble. So we call to their higher selves to step forward in the light, and if they choose not to, which is their free will, we ask their higher self to put them in a position of harmlessness. We surround them in a bubble of mirror that contains their energy with the violet flame, added to transmute all their out of balance thoughts and plans back to light. The bubble of mirror stays up 24/7, 365 days a year until they do work for light. We call to Michael the Archangel to cut all ties Bannon and Miller has with Trump, Priebus Pence, Paul Ryan, Kellyanne Conway, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Eric Prince and his neo-Blackwater mercenary militia, Breitbart News, all Christian white supremacists and Nazis, all Republicans. As ties between these being groups are cut, see all their agendas falling apart. Now cut all ties Bannon has to Hitler and trying to manifest the Fourth Reich by force of will or by satanic magic. We remove all protective magic surrounding Bannon and Miller. We remove all veils of invisibility that surrounds them so people see them clearly as a Nazi and they shun them. See all Bannon's plans, magic falling apart now. And all the work Bannon did overseas in Europe with all the other Nazi groups, see all that work falling apart. And we're going to ask that there's a lot of internal fighting with the Nazis. We're going to cut all ties to Bannon and Miller had to Albert Pike in manifesting World War III by creating chaos through the Muslim world. See all satanic magic trying to move this dark agenda forward, filling with so much light. The plans fall apart. See all the federal judges standing up and make clear they will not uphold an illegal immigration law, and Trump and Nielsen and Sessions must return the children back to their parents now. And we're going to send energy to the ACLU for stepping up and defending the rights of the Muslims and all immigrants. And we're going to call to the higher selves of everybody in the United States to really pay attention. And anywhere where they've taken these children, check it out. Let the newspapers know. If all of a sudden a foster parent has an immigrant child from South America, from Central America, from Mexico, let the press know. Call the ACLU up. Let them know. These children are not being taken care of. Speak out. See the spiritual warriors coming out for justice in a nonviolent way with success. And again, imagine all Nazi swastika symbols reversing. So the energy now brings in peace and prosperity back to the earth and humanity. Every time anyone looks at a Nazi swastika, see the energy being reversed into its correct positive direction. We cut the ties to anyone whose intent is to misuse any sacred symbols. We call the violet flame through the symbols to clean them up, and we reconnect those symbols to the divine. See these energies being reversed to their positive, correct direction now, as Bannon tries to misuse the swastika by bringing in chaos. See it reverse, bringing in peace and prosperity to everyone. See all his plans of shock events falling apart and backfiring on them. If the swastika symbol was used to set humanity's collective solar plexus backwards, we now reverse direction and see humanity moving forward in light and love. See Christian evangelicals increasingly waking up to the truth. And as people realize that they're being played, see them reorganize to challenge the leaders who are pulling the strings. Let them express divine compassion for all. We also negate all their dark magic directed toward anyone anti-Trump, and as those veils are removed from the masses, see a great awakening of consciousness with everyone given lots of divine guidance on how to move forward in light. Let's remove all energy veils of magic that Bannon and Miller have put over Trump, and as the veils are removed, let Trump understand that Bannon and Miller are not friends. And we're going to cut all ties to oath and vows, Bannon and Miller, and oh my God, let's throw Sean Hannity in there. And Trump has spoken that binds them together, each other and the Nazi Party. We called a Ganesha to put up lots of obstacles between Trump and Bannon so they can no longer communicate. Let there be total transparency in all their dealings and see all their plans just falling apart on all levels. All right, fill that up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. All right, we're going to give our attention to the water elemental now, something a lot more pleasant. So we're going to create another bubble of light, and in this bubble of light, I want you to imagine the water elemental. And if you can't imagine it, you can look at this screen and, oops, look at the water bottle. Okay, water. So we're going to put the water elemental all over the planet in this bubble, including the water elemental in our bodies. And this is dedicated to my dolphin and my whale friends. Let there be light in the name of the presence of God, which I am, through the magnetic power of the sacred fire vested in me. I command I call the Michael the Archangel and ask that all negativism that the water elemental has taken on be cut from it, transmuted by the violet flame, and filled with much love as the water elemental reconnects to the Creator. Now let's imagine this beautiful divine healing energy coming down from the Creator and flowing into all waters on the planet, whether it's flowing or frozen. We ask the earth release all kinds of healing microorganisms into the sea. And as we focus on the ocean, we see the healing energies of the earth and divine merging into one energy, recharging all plankton, then flowing into the coral reefs. As we send this healing energy into the coral reefs, we ask the Creator to put the spark of life back into all the coral reefs on the planet. We now see all the coral reefs coming back to life and flourishing. As we send this healing energy throughout the waters, we see it neutralizing all radiation, poisons, methane gas, chemicals, all toxins, and pharmaceutical drugs that are in it. Now, this healing energy is also helping the water circulate, so at its perfect divine temperature. We see this healing energy neutralizing all out of balance sound, including all sonar. Now we're going to trace the sonar energy back to its source and cut the ties to all computers and machines used. We're going to violet flame them to clean them up, angel light energy to heal, and we're going to fill them up with love, and we're going to reconnect them to the Creator and command them to be neutral, breaking down regularly or stop functioning. So 1, 2, 3, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to just send that sonar equipment, lots of energy, and in your mind's eye, see it all breaking down. 1, 2, 3. See it breaking down. Now we're going to send a peaceful white noise through the ocean and all the waters on the planet, including our body elemental. So let's imagine now all this healing energy surrounding all sea life, and we see them all reconnecting to the Creator so they may fulfill their divine missions and be healthy. We're going to send out special telepathic thoughts to all sea life, dolphins, whales, sharks, mannas, to be guided where their water sanctuaries are, to heal and be safe. We see the violet flame blazing through all sea life to help them transmute all chemicals, radiation, toxins that they may have ingested, all the way down to the DNA as all sea life is reconnected to the Creator. We ask the Creator to awaken all sea life's blueprint for perfect health and put into effect now. So let's put our attention on the Gulf of Florida or any water that has oil or chemicals spilled in it. We ask the Mother Earth to release lots of microorganisms that are needed to eat up the oil and chemicals that were dumped there. We see people being divinely inspired with new thoughts on how to clean up the oil spills. That is very easy to do with no cost involved. Using Mother Nature's gifts to clean up the mess, we ask that all who live there are filled with lots of strength, courage, and divine inspiration on all the natural ways they need to heal. May they receive all the needed medicines for free, along with all the legal means to take the government and the companies responsible for this pollution to court and win. We again call the violet flame through these waters areas to transmute all dark energy. The water elemental must mirror. Now we're going to send lots of energy going through the North Atlantic current to keep it flowing, so it'll help our planet keep at its perfect temperature. We call the violet flame through the methane gas in all the water, oceans, lakes, rivers, streams, and in our drinking water to transmute its healing energy with the energy of the angel light. Now we reconnect all the molecules and atoms that create methane gas back to the Creator. We now command them to be neutral, to simply revert to healthy water, yet allow for the proper amount of methane the earth needs to remain on the planet. I want you now to see thousands and thousands of huge bottles of clean, pristine mineral water that are 10 miles high, 10 miles long, 10 miles wide, that are inches apart from each other all over the oceans and waters. Now inside these bottles of pristine oxygenated water, we're going to place all the minerals, plankton, kelp, and whatever sea life needs to survive. See these bottles becoming sanctuaries for all the sea life to go to. Now we command the water elemental to mirror the bottles of water. We see the ocean clearing up and becoming healthy and vibrant again with the abundance of flourishing, healthy sea life. Now, in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine all the parts of the ocean that they call dead zones and see these huge bottles of pristine water in those areas. And we're going to command the water elemental in that area now to mirror those bottles of water and see these dead zones coming back to life. And the scientists just perplexed at these miracles. We ask the angels, devas, and all the cosmic beings to keep all the radiation junk that is floating in the ocean from Fukushima off all shores and sent into a newly created black hole that will take it off our planet now. We call the higher selves of all the nuclear operators to reconnect these beings back to the Creator. As they awaken, they stop releasing radioactive waste into the oceans and become filled with divine inspiration on how to correct the nuclear challenge. We send very high energy into the shell or basin around the crippled reactors so they will once again hold water. We call the higher selves of the TEPCO decision makers to begin pumping enough of the highly contaminated water by the end of the week to stop the water from rising, as well as bringing in new holding tanks. We need their higher selves to put their egos aside and call in help from all countries. I call the goddess of truth to bring all that is hidden to the surface so we can see clearly what is being done. Let all the people who are running these nuclear plants and trying to repair them again put their egos aside and allow outside help in. See people from all over the world that have practical working solutions be invited to Japan, and if for their highest good of our planet, put those solutions into action now. I call the goddess of justice to wield your sword for the highest good, to send those that create this mess all their karmic return they deserve now, then so be it. I ask their karmic returns amplified over 100,000-fold. And if it's also for their highest good, I ask that all their income is taken from them and sent to all the people they have harmed for the health care to be replaced, all lost incomes, as well as clean up the planet. I see all government officials responsible for all cover-ups receiving their just karmic dues now. If it's for their highest good to be removed from their jobs and go to prison, then so be it. Replaced by a light worker that will be of service to all, compassionate with high integrity. We see all magic keeping those responsible from being brought to justice, being dissolved, along with all energy veils of invisibility and protection removed, gone. We ask that all veils who are keeping humanity from seeing the radiation challenge of Fukushima removed from them, and as they're reconnected to the Creator, they become awakened, conscious beings that are being given the divine solutions to solve the world's nuclear problems in love. We see all veils being removed off of all government decision makers, the newspapers, TV, radio stations, reporters, the TV anchors that were keeping them from speaking the truth. See everyone now talking about the nuclear challenge in Japan and in all countries, the nuclear leaks everywhere, and see people sharing information on how to keep healthy and being given the reasons on how to stay healthy, and see people being given the divine solutions that are put into application. So fill this up with light and love, and let's take a deep breath and release it. And I give thanks for this opportunity to serve. Okay, guys, let's close real quick with 3 ohms. Om. 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 Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all the beings in all the worlds be happy. So be it. And we give thanks for this opportunity to serve. Thank you guys for tuning in and doing some incredible service work with me tonight. Now you need to ground, so put your feet on the floor if you've not already. And if you have the stone called hematite, go grab it. And it's going to help you pull back in body and ground to the earth. So you've got your feet flat on the ground. Imagine yourself, the earth energy coming up your feet, coming up your legs. And the higher it comes, you're starting to ground, pull back in body, become very, very centered, very clear-headed. And if you're still high after the show, oh, excuse me, I burp up energy. I don't have beer over here. Then please go hug a tree. Put your hands on the tree, send all your excess energy into the tree, and then ask the tree to send you back, and you'll immediately ground. So I want you to mark your calendars, please. September 22nd of this year, which is on fall equinox, fall solstice. No, one of those two. We're doing another World Enlightenment Quantum Leap event. And you're all invited. And if it all works out, I'll be able to do a show. So for 1 hour, we are going to chant, may divine enlightenment descend on everyone now. May divine enlightenment awaken within everyone now. We'll tweak it. We really want to anchor that energy to this timeline and get off of the Nazi timeline. So if you want to do more energy work with me, then tune in to my Facebook page under Cathy Bilsky. Mondays, we do chant down divine enlightenment. And then, of course, I set a little bit aside, time aside for the Nazis to neutralize their works. Tuesday, it's Fukushima Radiation Tuesday, # Nazis. Thursday, it's